Match day, match day, match day. Hello, everybody. Welcome along to Forever United TV as we start our marathon of football content today. It is Manchester United away at the City Ground, Nottingham Forest. Rúben Amorim's embargoed version, part 2 of his press conference coming up as your morning headlines today on match day. Also, what Romano has been talking about, Manchester United's January transfer targets, potential signings for Manchester United, Ruben's hint towards them signings from that press conference, and of course, a look ahead and a mood gauge as to the game this afternoon. It's going to be a big one and a big day of content here on Forever United TV as well. Starting at 1:30 later on, we are going to be covering the whole game, the big build-up. I won't be alone in the studio here. I've been teasing you all week. All will be revealed later on this afternoon, everybody. 1:30, you'll see who I've got sat here with me for the full game on Forever United TV this afternoon. Don't forget also introducing Rival Watch this afternoon. We are doing 3 watch-alongs back to back throughout the entire afternoon, covering every single rival match that there is out there. Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, Aston Villa, after Manchester United away at Nottingham Forest. Plus this live stream today as well. It's a busy one, yes indeed. So let's get into the news and get through all the nitty-gritty stuff before we get on to all of the football that is coming up today. Please get into the live comment section and give me your thoughts. There does seem to be a buzz in the air, doesn't there? And an excitement factor really going on with today and this game against Nottingham Forest. I've listened to so many pundits and people now playing down Manchester United this week. I had people talking on TalkSport, on Sky Sports, on different other stations as well, about playing down Manchester United's chances. Well, he was all right playing up Manchester United's worst moments of the season, and now we've got to play down the good moments. Yeah, well, swittle on that is what I say to all of them people and them negative Nancy's out there. We'll just keep on enjoying this moment as Man United fans, and our man in the hot seat in charge, Rúben Amorim, I think he's also enjoying his moments, but he's being very, very grounded at the moment as well, Ruben. He's looking at the bigger picture, and some big comments from Ruben from that press conference from Thursday that have been released in the second part this morning. Well, late last night they came out, and the big one is that quote that you can see on your thumbnail, like the big statement from Rúben Amorim. He's not bothered about single wins, like beating Liverpool. He doesn't care. I love this guy so much in the way that he talks. And like I said, he's always been the same. Like, I've had my moments with Rúben Amorim. I didn't like the way that I don't like the way he keeps on playing certain players. I think it will obviously trip him up at times this season as well. There will be bumps in the road along the way. But the fact that he adapted after all of them comments that he came out with about not changing and subtly changing, I've got to give him credit for that, of course. But I like the way that he talks around Manchester United. It's the next game. Forget about it. So we can go in on Rúben Amorim like I have done. And I won't hide away from that when we lose games and he's talking about certain players and what they're trying to do. We can all have our disagreements on that and debates within the Man United fan base. But one thing that Ruben has always been very, very, very consistent on is when he wins games, he doesn't milk it. He does not milk it one bit, and I love him for that because he definitely just keeps everybody's feet firmly on the ground. And he's been doing that again. 3 wins in a row. Woo! Yeah, we're all excited. Allow the fans to be excited, and we deserve this. But Rúben Amorim is keeping his feet firmly on the floor and talking about them wins against Liverpool, against Sunderland, and the big one against Brighton last weekend. I think that his comments in the interviews and the embargo version of the press conference, which we're talking about this morning, I think will please a lot of Manchester United fans in that he's not bothered about them single wins. Rúben Amorim actually came out and said that all he wants to do is be at the top. All he wants to do is win the league with Manchester United. He wants to win the Premier League. And he said it in a way where he's just like not bothered. His main target is to be successful and win the Premier League with Manchester United. It's not about trophies and titles, as other managers have said, and filling their cabinets with the cups. He wants the Premier League. That's been the whole target. We mark 1 year exactly to the day today, and Rúben Amorim's press conference, his first one, speaking to the media for the first time a year on from taking the job over from Ruud van Nistelrooy. And he was saying then, back in November 2024, that it's about winning the Premier League with Manchester United. That's it. And his first game against Ipswich, he won't change. There is going to be bumps in the road. We're not going to change. If we change now when we're just allowing the same cycle to continue from what's gone wrong with Manchester United before I came through the door? Remember it. Ed Sheeran was stood there. Roy Keane was stood there. It just looked like a complete farce, the whole interview. And I think from that moment going forward, when looking back now, it's like I'll hold my hands up and say I wasn't convinced with Rúben Amorim and what he was saying and constantly. I think this has been down to the players more often than not on what he said and how he's trying to cover things up with certain players and adapting his formation to them. But look, he's put me back in my place. I'll accept that and I'll own up to that. I just want to see my team win. I wear my heart on my sleeve and I will just say it as it is. When United are good, United are good. When United are bad, United are bad. I love the fact that I've got a manager that is just dealing with all of that in a way where he's constantly looking ahead. The last manager to look ahead at Manchester United and look right into the future and look games and games in advance was Sir Alex Ferguson, constantly looking 67 games ahead, planning out what's going forward and what's happening. And I think Ruben's in that moment now where he could be at the start of something. Of course, there is the chance that this could all go completely Pete Tong and Manchester United end up where they was the last few seasons. That's something that all Manchester United fans fear, but are looking at with a real cap on, I feel, and saying that, yes, it's good and we're going to enjoy these moments, but we are all scared that something could go wrong. I just feel like when it goes wrong next time, they'll have this to fall back on and say, look, we had that run, let's get back to that. We proved that we can be up there challenging in the European places, so let's go back again. What did we do wrong? And come back with a better mentality. And Ruben talks about this constantly, about the character in his team and what's there now that wasn't there before. And I think that's the most important thing. And it's all right, Ruben's saying, and that is the big headline, I want to win the league. You only win the league by dealing with the adversity in a better way and coming back from it stronger. Maybe the start of this season has proved that point for Rúben Amorim in that we had a shocker and everybody was piling in on us, and myself thinking that Ruben wouldn't even last. Everybody's saying that if he's not going to change his way, then he's basically just sacking himself. And I think I actually said them, he's sacking himself right now. But look, that bad patch, now we've got the good patch. Maybe when things do go wrong, and they will go wrong again this season, maybe we bounce back stronger from that. Maybe the bad patch isn't for as long because we're now in a different position. We're in a different place mentally as well as a squad with Rúben Amorim. And I think that's what will continue going forward, and I think that's what Ruben's getting at. And he also goes on about the likes of Kobbie Mainoo and wanting to give Kobbie Mainoo more game time and not having enough games. He cannot afford to bring out players that are playing really well at the moment. And this is what I was saying all along. And going from talking about winning the league a year on into the talk of Kobbie Mainoo trying to fit players into this squad, talking about football situations and football issues rather than car crashes and circuses outside of the football club and big problems with certain players' attitudes. Talking about Mainoo and him openly saying like he would like to get Mainoo back in the side. He understands the position that Kobbie Mainoo is in. He understands that he wants to get game time, but he has now got wins behind him and under his belt where he can actually say to Kobbie, like, I cannot bring these players out. This is what I thought was going to work for us. It took us a few games and the road was quite bumpy at the start, and he can understand where Mainoo's position is. But now we're winning. There's really nothing that Kobbie Mainoo could say. Like, it's a winning side, and Ruben's right. With only one game a week, he cannot afford to take players out that have been giving him absolutely everything on the pitch, because this team has been. And this is where we always I thought we would be this season. With no games, how is he going to manage this squad? How is he going to get into this squad and convince them that there is a bigger project here? Winning games. That's it. It's the only way that the players are going to get on board. When it's a winning mentality, then the squad's on board. When they're losing games and it's inconsistent, you're looking at picking out favourites and making issues and talking about problems within the squad. He needs to double down on this now and stay strong in terms of the players that have got him to this point right now, and I think he will. And I think that's what he was alluding to in his press conference there as well on that one. But look, we'll see if he tries to change anything up. We'll see if he comes up with anything new today. Of course, I don't think we're going to be seeing many changes. I mean, if you didn't watch my video last night and my team ahead, I went unchanged apart from maybe Dorgu coming in. Look, I don't think Dorgu. It was kind of a hopeful one, to be honest. Maybe he freshens it up with a bit more attacking prowess and a bit more speed, maybe from Patrick Dorgu for chasing back on counter-attack. If we've got a lot of possession, Sean Dyche low block, counter-attacking football, is Dorgu quicker at getting back than Dalot? I think he is. I think he's more athletic as well. And they've got fast wingers. So that would be the only thing I would say. I fully expect Dalot to be in the team, I'm going to be honest. I think he will be because he's had some good games at the City Ground as well. And look, he's not been our best player. But then again, we've had some really good performances. I don't mind Dalot having 6s when everyone else in the team is having 7s and 8s. But I eventually want Dalot or someone on that side also getting an 8, because that's what it's going to take to get United consistently challenging and up there in the top 4. So let's see what comes with that. Anyway, let's get your early morning thoughts, everybody. Let's get into the live chat and see how everybody is. Did you watch the embargo version of the press conference? Did you see Rúben Amorim? Can United win the league? It's all right talking about it and talking about it into the future. He gets away with it there doing that, I think. But let me know your thoughts on this as well. Ant in with the super chat straight out the box. I absolutely love how Ruben is playing with the media, and you can see they bloody hate it too. They are stuck, desperate to find bad things to say. Look, I've said this so many times, and you are definitely bang on the money there. The media just constantly digging and digging and digging, trying to find a negative to go to counter the positive of Manchester United at the moment. And they're struggling. They really are struggling. And there is there is nothing for them to report. Like I said earlier in the week, you've got Manchester United correspondents actually watching under-21s games to get some news and headlines. Unfortunately, the under-21s lost last night. The red card completely killed off their 100% record. They lost 4-0 at home to Blackburn. 10 men, first half, very difficult, and it didn't go well for Manchester United, let's just say that. But look, they will bounce back, and there is plenty of quality in that squad. Quickly, just on that, a certain player was not in the Manchester United squad last night, and that is a certain Shea Lacey. And one source online who follows the academy actually says, worth mentioning, Shea Lacey wasn't in the under-21 squad the other night. I fully expect him to be in the squad for the Forest game today. Interesting. We'll see on that one. Let's get some more comments in. Let's see what we've got. Still, he's good defensively, but he's let's see. But let's his passing do the running for him. A look at the stats to everybody else. He wins. The story last night that was broke by Fabrizio Romano, and obviously I think Ben Jacobs was talking about as well. I covered it last night in the video. If you want to watch that video back today after we finished the live here, all of the details on Stiller, but now being looked at as the main midfield target for Manchester United according to them reports. Christopher Vivel, very, very keen. How good is Stiller defensively? He really, we really need a midfielder with legs and good on the ball. That creatively, because we got a lot of that in Cunha and Bruno and Sesko. Look, I mean, watch that video back is all I'll say. I'll talk up the good, the bad, and everything else that's going on with Stiller and the transfers at the moment. There's no point in getting into that this morning. If we've got time at the end of the show here today, we'll go through that again, but it is there for anyone wanting to watch back later. Who would have thought it? United by Mbeumo and Cunha, and Liverpool by Wirtz and Isak. We definitely got the best deals. Manchester United are winning this transfer window when it comes to the actual results so far this season, aren't we? We are 100% right on top of our recruitment right now, and I've made a big point about that all week. So, again, if you want to catch up on any of the certain topics regarding what's going on at Manchester United and obviously the transfers and other news, go watch them videos back as well. They're all there on the channel right now. Well, if Amorim approves of the deal, then he might have tweaks for it to work, I hope. Look, I think Amorim, Man United, know exactly what they need. And I think that's the point we've been trying to make this week and over the last few days in particular. So let's have a look. Let's see. Did watch Adam, just missed the show live. Thank you very much, mate, for that, Pete. Yes, I did have a break last night simply because we've got so much going on today. If you missed your fill of live content yesterday, well, how about 8 hours worth of live content today? That's what's coming up later on here on Forever United TV. Also, I want to get into what Ruben said regarding his play. So in the embargoed version of the press conference, Ruben on the play and how he's adapted his system, a detailed sort of on how he builds up how Manchester United are playing now. So when we're talking about the tweaks, we're talking about Ruben changing. This is what Ruben had to say on this yesterday. I don't believe that we have a style where we have to always build up from the back. We want to build up to push the opponents and have space to score goals. If the space is there, if the numbers, it's a numbers game. If there is 3 against 3 up front, and I have Benjamin Sesko, Matthews Cunha, and Brian Mbeumo, then I will put the ball in the two. I'll put the ball there in 2 passes. I want to score goals in 2 passes. But sometimes you have to build up. What I try to teach my players is which kind of game do I need to play this situation. That's my job. In his first part of his press conference, just to cut that off there, there's more to come. He did talk about playing a different way and managing the environment around Nottingham Forest and the City Ground and playing a different way away from home. We're never going to play the same way. He's always going to adapt it. And that's something that I think a lot of Manchester United fans just weren't seeing in the results. Manchester United this season have played better overall. We just weren't getting the results. Now the results are coming in. Maybe him talking about the mentality side of things is probably more important than the system itself in dealing with it. Let's not forget, we still haven't gone behind and won a game of football yet. So there's bigger tests to come this season as well. But managing the environment and playing differently away from home, something that Ruben has been big on from Thursday in his press conference. I don't want to teach my players to build up with a lot of touches, and then if you need a lot of touches, you will understand that you need a lot of touches. If you need one, put the ball long because the fans want to see a different game. And then we are in England. I tried to show you a little bit of English football in the past. I don't have a clear way of building up. I look at the space, the numbers of the players, and the characteristics of my players, and try to use that to win games. A little bit of insight into how Ruben's head works there, I think, in every single game and how he approaches it. Characteristics again, talking about different players that he has brought in to handle different moments and different situations. Obviously, in that, he probably means different opponents as well. Maybe that's why he went with Cunha up front against Liverpool and brought Benjamin Sesko back in for the Brighton game. Very effective, and the changes that he's subtly making within the team as well are also working. Now, Casemiro, he talks about him as well being the example to all of his other players as well in terms of getting into the side. Maybe that's what he's alluding to when he was talking about Kobbie Mainoo earlier on as well. In waiting it, when he gets that chance, someone might get an injury, and then Kobbie Mainoo makes it his own. You just don't know. You don't know what's coming around the corner with Manchester United or any team really when it comes to injuries. So let's just look at it that way, and let's just say Ruben knows what he's got right now. Ruben knows that his team is playing well. He's not going to change it that much, but he will tweak certain things here and there. And this is where Mason Mount or a different centre-back sometimes comes in. Maybe he'll tweak the wing-backs, like I said, Dalot, Dorgu, maybe Ahmad. You just don't know where Ruben's thinking at the moment. But I think what he is building, I think this is coming off the back of last weekend's win against Brighton, is he's building a consistent starting 11 where you are looking at maybe 8 to 9 definites near enough now in this Manchester United starting 11. You could obviously argue the point with some of the centre-backs, Leacher, Maguire coming back in between Yoro and obviously as well. Them three, I think, are undecided at the moment. I think he loves Luke Shaw. I think he loves De Ligt. I don't think they're moving at the moment. So realistically, you've got the likes of Maguire, Yoro and Leacher to come back in. That's a scary bit of squad depth for centre-back there. I'm not even mentioning Mazraoui there either. But I get what Ruben's saying. Actually, on Luke Shaw as well, Rúben Amorim has been talking about Luke Shaw in terms of England. Don't, Ruben. Don't scare Man United fans. He says, Luke Shaw back in the England team. England has a lot of good players. You could make 2 teams. I think he deserves it, but many players deserve to be there. I want him to be called up, but I also want Luke Shaw recovering and getting ready for our matches. If he's called up, that's fine with me because I can better control what he does. Very, very interesting quote there from Ruben. I can better control what he does. Is he alluding to Luke Shaw not being managed before from internationals? Because this is where a lot of fans have said Luke Shaw has gone down and fallen down. Always available when there's an international tournament. And he goes to the international tournament and we don't see him again. And Luke Shaw recovering. Ruben said it there. I want him back at Carrington. I want him back here recovering and being ready for the next game. He wants to be able to manage Luke Shaw, and he understands what he's got there in Luke Shaw the player and Luke Shaw the problem. And Luke Shaw the problem is something that I think Ruben, out of every other manager that's managed him at Manchester United, and there's a few, has got the most out of. I really do think that Ruben, I cannot remember, someone tell me, has Luke Shaw had a prolonged period of time, as a prolonged period of time in the team as this spell right now? So from what I can remember, like Luke Shaw has been fit through all the pre-season, played every game, been available for every game, and every game this season. We are double figures in now, 10 games in all competitions, and Luke's been available for every single one. I don't think I can remember a time, to be honest, with Luke Shaw. But Ruben, again, in terms of managing his squad, making it very clear there. And again, all of a sudden, you're hearing about Manchester United players being picked for England. This is something that we've talked about for the last year, I think now, where we've just not had an England player, either in the under-21s or in the England first team. And now we're hearing about the likes of Luke Shaw. Could Harry Maguire come back? Mason Mount was talked about the other day as well as a potential call-up for Thomas Tuchel. Obviously, he's used him before, played with him before, been successful with him before. And so this, I think, is something that I think is showing that Manchester United are on the right path. And the talk of certain players getting international duty and getting called up is only a positive. I don't know about the players going on international duty. I would prefer them not to be. But then again, I'm a greedy Man United fan that really doesn't care about international football while it's going on in the season. Seriously, like, does anybody like international football in season? It's not good for anybody. Ruben's playing 4D chess. He's very, very smart, says Ant. How can Mount start after the shows from Cunha and Sesko? I can't see him changing much. How does Mazraoui get back into? ? I think he's better going forward than he gets credit. And nice forward touches. I don't like Mazraoui going forward, but it's a good point ATKO has made there. How does he get back in the side? Well, this is Manchester United, and you've got to fight. It's the old Manchester United in a way, because players are fighting for position and you just don't know how they're going to get back in the side. This is what we've been crying out for so long. Let's get some more comments in as well. Sanchez says, if Amorim gets 0 signings in January, do we get the Champions League? On them January signings, actually. Ruben did allude to what they're going to try and do and what they're going to plan for in January as well. Big hints as to what might be coming in the January transfer window from Ruben in the press conference, alluding to what we can do if things happen or certain opportunities open up. We will do business and see what we can get done in January. But on that there, Conor Gallagher again, looking at the situation. I said it before, from going off what was happening at Atletico Madrid. Then I think after that we had that story about Ben Jacobs talking about it as well. And now we have got a lot of talk about Conor Gallagher from Fabrizio Romano. Now, on this one, Conor Gallagher is an option for Manchester United in January on a loan deal. Manchester United were seriously interested last summer, but any move depends on Atletico Madrid. So this deal is genuine, this deal is real now. So we can look at it and say that there is a chance that Conor Gallagher could be in a Man United shirt in January. United will pursue it. He's not getting game time, which was my video on Conor Gallagher and the development that was coming about this season. I don't know if there has been a fallout. I doubt it with Conor Gallagher. But then again, I don't know. I'm guessing at that, to be honest. But Conor Gallagher coming in on loan, I like that move. I think that gives us a little bit more bite. That gives us a lot more energy. And to be honest, I think he's better than Manuel Ugarte. Is he better than Casemiro? Well, you could only bring in the age factor with him and Casemiro. Casemiro's on fire at the moment, and I love Casemiro in my team. I do. I just think he is that experienced, knowledgeable, know-how, shithousery, skullduggery player that you need in your team. Do you know what I mean by that as well? You know, in them big moments, he knows what to do, and that you cannot buy. You cannot get that anywhere else. You cannot bring that through the academy, but you can definitely earn that through years of experience, and experience is what that man has got. Conor Gallagher's got experience. I mean, he's played at the top for a long time now, and playing over in Atletico Madrid, if there's anywhere where you're going to learn some shithousery, it's with Simeone at Atletico Madrid, because they are the world's leaders when it comes to it. So what this kid has learned, now in his mid-20s, what Conor Gallagher has learned in his career so far, playing his trade and playing Crystal Palace, Chelsea, and obviously Atletico Madrid, is vast experience also. So a 6-month deal with no real obligation to it. Look, I mean, if there was an obligation at the end of it, if you played a certain amount of games or United wanted to trigger an option, then I'm all right as Conor Gallagher coming in as a squad player. I honestly, like I said, we needed 3 midfielders. You could maybe get a Conor Gallagher, a Stiller, or one of the main 3, Baleba, Wharton, or Anderson. That is doable for Manchester United. Maybe if we make Champions League, we keep Conor Gallagher. I don't know. I'm looking at this deal like it's further down the line when it's not. And obviously, we are looking at potentially bringing Conor Gallagher in at the moment. But there's a lot of noise starting to build up now. And as we hit November, obviously one more international break in a couple of weeks. And then through the back of that, you're into the nitty-gritty period and you're counting down to this January transfer window. So, yeah, 2 months, less than 2 months away now to that January transfer window opening. And I think the talk will start to really ramp up a little bit more now. So I think keep an eye on Conor Gallagher is definitely the one that we're saying. We talked last night about Stiller. For anyone just coming in and asking, Stiller will not happen in January. United won't spend money in January, I don't think, unless it is a blockbuster opportunity that they just cannot turn down. And like Ruben said in his press conference, he said if the right opportunity is there, Manchester United will be on top of it and we'll be looking to make the deal happen. I honestly looking at absolutely everything, and you know we cover everything here on FUTV in the transfer window. Looking at everything that's out there right now, I think Conor Gallagher is the only deal that Manchester United could potentially make. I do, and I think we're going to get more and more noises on this as November and December pass. Let's see how he performs. Let's see how many games he plays for Simeone. He may end up working his way back into the side, and this just falling dead. Absolutely dead, and nothing happening. But Conor Gallagher is a good player for Manchester United to bring in on a 6-month loan. Whether or not we go anywhere past that, look, I'm not even looking that far ahead. Right now, January, and a bit of a boost to the squad, I think Gallagher definitely brings us that. 100% he brings us that. So let's see how this moves along. Adam, please don't mention Champions League this time of the year. Look what happened last year. This time last year, Eric Ten Hag got sacked and Rúben Amorim came in, mate. And I was saying, what? Yeah, United go for top 4. Hey, look, it's still a chance. And if we win today, we go second, mate. So I'm looking at it that way. I mean, you are beating a team who have got 1 win all season away from going second after 10 games being played. If you're in and amongst it come Christmas time, and I'm looking at the fixtures, and I'm going, Man United, if they continue this form, are going to be in and amongst it. So why should we not be talking about it? Obviously, these 2 games now, Forest and Spurs, away games. Run of the mill, away games. Manchester United last season just didn't get anything away from home. And that was the biggest disappointment of our season. We were just relying on home form, and that was crap on its own as well. But I said it last night. I said it yesterday morning as well. If Manchester United win today, that's 6 wins this season already. Man United won 11 in the entirety of all of last season. There is a difference. This time last year, we had Rúben Amorim coming in and we had no idea what was about to happen. Now we've had him a year and we know what's happening. We know what we've brought in and we know what Ruben wants to do. I'm feeling a little bit more confident than I did back then. And I think I've got every right to be confident going into this. So, yeah, I mean, look, you can talk about form of teams and look what's happened before. Look, anything is possible in the league. Look what happened to Liverpool. Everyone would say, look, don't take Manchester United's 3 wins and move forward with them like something is going to happen and United are going to be massively successful now this season. You could spin that around and say, well, nobody would have said, talking about Liverpool not making the Champions League, but that is a realistic conversation now to have. If we can't talk about Manchester United finishing in the top 4, then surely you could say the same thing for Liverpool right now. But you never know what's round the corner. Like, they've spent $500 million near enough and got worse. Manchester United have spent very, very cleverly and spent less than half of that and got better. Sometimes recruitment works out, sometimes recruitment doesn't work out, and United's recruitment right now is looking very, very good, and we're all very pleased with it. So let's hope it does continue today for this game against Nottingham Forest. Just want to go through some other news as well. I'm sure you would have seen the news yesterday regarding the ridiculous... I mean, the story came out about the Boxing Day games not happening, and there was going to be one game on Boxing Day. Guess whose game that is? At 8 o'clock. Yes, Manchester United. They need Manchester United, otherwise they just don't survive. I'm just going to read out to you now Manchester United's kickoff times. We did a show the other day, and I was talking about what Andy Mitten was saying, and it was about the not having a Saturday game. We got it mixed up. It wasn't necessarily the Saturday game. It was the kickoff times. So today, Manchester United kickoff at 3 p.m, as we know. Don't forget, Watch Along starts at 1:30. But then, these are the next 9 fixture kickoff times for Manchester United. Hold on to your hats with this one. Tottenham, 12:30 next Saturday. Everton, when we come back from the international break, 8 o'clock. Crystal Palace on a Sunday, 12 p.m. West Ham, 8 p.m. Wolves, 8 p.m. Bournemouth, 8 p.m. Aston Villa, 4:30 on a Sunday. Oh, thank you, Sky. Newcastle, 8 p.m. Wolves, 8:15 p.m. Now, you try telling me that the Premier League have not shafted the arse out of Manchester United travelling fans. That is absolutely ridiculous. You count them up in there. In the next 10 games, including today, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8 p.m. kickoffs and 1:15 kickoff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, yes, 6. I mean, seriously, that's a joke. Samuel Luckhurst talking today from The Sun, and he's not said much that I agree with recently, but he's bang on the money with this one, Samuel, when he says completely uncaring and callous Christmas schedule from the Premier League and its right holders with the carve up. Bad enough Manchester United match goers have an 8 p.m. Boxing Day kickoff, and then it's a 8:15 at home to Wolves 4 days later. 5 of Manchester United's December kickoffs are 8 p.m. or later. It's an absolute joke. And when you break down December, it is, for match-going fans, travelling fans, like the transport alone for that, public transport at that time of year as well, it's just not right. It really isn't right. All they're caring about, and they should care about global fans and everybody else, but don't forget about your bread and butter and what this football club was built upon, and the match-going fans, the dedicated fans that travel home and away, that spend thousands watching their football club every single year. Forget about them fans. It's an absolute joke. And again, I'm not surprised if a journalist picking up on this and going in on this, because that is just too much. It's way too much. 6, 8 o'clock and later kickoffs in the next 10 games for Manchester United. 5 of them in December. And the busiest time of the year. It just makes no sense at all. Unless you're a broadcaster and you're just putting Manchester United on at the most obscure times, because you know people are still going to watch Manchester United. Taking advantage of what this club actually is. It's an absolute joke. And like I said, if you've been to Manchester United to a match day, you'll know what it's like coming out of a stadium that's got 74,000 people in it. Coming out of a stadium at night is even harder. Transport links and everything like that. It is just so awkward. And to slap Manchester United with so many. And the away kick-off times as well, like 12 o'clock for a Crystal Palace game on a Sunday. I mean, come on. Man United fans are going to be up at like 4 in the morning travelling down to South London to get to Crystal Palace, one of the worst grounds in the country to get to. 12 o'clock? I mean, that's ridiculous. Just what happened to 2 o'clocks? Do you know what I mean? Like, why not make it 2 o'clock? Give the fans a little bit of time. No. Let's just put them on at 12 because people watch Man United. That's what it's all about. Absolutely rinsing the travelling fans. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And again, I can see why everyone's kicking off about it. Well, give me your thoughts on that as well. Get into the live comment section, everybody. Give me some thoughts on today as well. Conor Gallagher people are talking about as well. Let's be honest, Gallagher will help to fight for the top 4. We need another midfielder who's not completely useless. That from Savage. What is the most we would spend on a transfer in January? And would you take a punt on a good midfielder in the Championship? Would you have a punt on a Kiefer Moore, or as a squad player, good off the bench? No, I mean the only player coming from the Championship right now with any credit, or not like credit as the player and his quality, but as in a report, is the links to oh the hell, I forgot his bloody name now. Hackney, yeah, Hayden Hackney from Middlesbrough. I think that's the only one that's having any sort of link from the Championship for Manchester United. I don't know how much we would spend in the January transfer window. Top player, it just depends who it is. That's it. It has to be a good player. It has to have some value for Manchester United. And yeah, I don't know. If the right player's there, I think Man United will spend a decent amount of money. All right, let's see. Palace Bournemouth will be really tough in that period as well, says Savage. Is that a function of no Europe? No, it's not. It's the Christmas period as well. All of these games, whether you're in Europe or not, don't have to be at 8 o'clock. It's a total farce for the fans putting us again on at 8 p.m. on a different day. I am an hour away. That's easy, but everyone else that travels far, absolute joke. Hotels needed, flights and whatnot. Exactly. No one cares about that. I even feel for Jimmy Five Bellies mob. What the hell for their supporters who already have tickets. Extra travel, extra cost, just to get it on. And let's not forget, I think there's a lot of it that's come in with the Amazon period as well. So they take rights over the festive period, if you all remember. So we'll be watching a few games on Amazon this Christmas. So their sort of games come around the Christmas time. So that, I think, is the 8:15 one. They're always on 8:15 kickoff. God knows why that is an 8:15 kickoff. But that's just what they are. So you can always tell the Amazon games because they are the 8:15ers. But the 8 o'clocks, again, 8 p.m. kickoff means I don't get home till 2 a.m., says Ant. People got to work, yeah. See what else we've got here. That is awful. That is awful. The times of the matches. The Premier League have a lot to answer for in their treatment of fans, says Andrew. One of them fans, yeah. It's crazy coming out the stadium at normal kickoff times. Yep, Jody's nailed it there as well. It's bad enough in normal time. At night as well, it's even worse. Amorim said everything about transfers in the press conference. We're up. We are up there with the best. We are not far away from Arsenal, says Mags. I mean, yeah, look, on the Forest game, let's move on to that. Keep your comments coming in on everything else as well, everybody. But on the Forest game today, I mean, looking at it, I mean, get your thoughts in. Give me some score predictions. How would you play it? Are we looking at Manchester United continuing this run? Can we do it? Can we make it the 4 games in a row? Are Manchester United capable of doing that? Of course they are. Nottingham Forest have won 1 game this season. I think United should be going into this game confident. Ruben knows what's coming. He said in his press conference he will be, and the players will be prepared. They know what's coming. They will be ready. So I'm looking forward to how his team comes across in the game today, how he sets it up, how he attacks Nottingham Forest, who he plays. Again, I just don't think he's going to be many changes. I really don't. And he's got I think there is that reliability factor in that team that he's got there right now. So again, I think that's something that we're going to be paying attention to. And I think Sesko will start. I don't think Mount will come on in his place, that is, or start the game instead of him. He could come on off the bench, obviously, but I think it'll be the front three again. I think the midfield will be the same. The wing-backs, more than likely the same. And then, again, with no Maguire still, I mean, I've not heard anything else on Maguire. I think it'll be exactly the same team that played against Brighton. I do. I would like to see Dorgu. I would like to see him get some more game time. I know he's a bit raw at the moment and people are not impressed with him. And then again, we're not impressed fully with Dalot either. And I think that's probably why people are pushing towards the transfer market and looking at wing-backs to come in. If you went with us earlier on in the show as well, I did bring up a point that Shea Lacey was not in Manchester United's under-21 squad to play Blackburn yesterday, hinting towards him potentially featuring or being in the Manchester United matchday squad today against Nottingham Forest. So that is something as well that we could do with keeping an eye on, because Shea Lacey today, I think if a certain scenario comes about, is the type of player you would need. That tricky, clever, quick feet, creative type of player. We don't necessarily have that in our side. The way that Shea Lacey plays, and it takes me back to what Jason Wilcox said in that MUTV interview, in that Shea Lacey, Manchester United, in their 2 rules going forward in the transfer market and recruiting, it's the characteristics, it's the profile of player, that like what he brings character-wise, and something different. And Shea Lacey definitely is different to what we've got in our first team squad at the moment. So let's see. We may actually see Shea Lacey in the matchday squad. Not saying he's going to play or anything like that, but you never know. You never know. Like, he has been pulling up trees and has been really impressing in training as well. And let's not, when he's played in Manchester United's under-21s as well, he has been starring and doing very well also this season. So he's backing it up, and maybe his opportunity is about to come for him. Maybe we'll see another Manchester United Academy player sat on the bench today, and the run continues every game. For so many years now, we've had an academy graduate sat in that matchday squad. It's going to be interesting to see if Kobbie Mainoo gets game time as well today. There is talk on Joshua Zirkzee also, by the way. Ben Jacobs has said Joshua Zirkzee is actively exploring January options to leave Manchester United as he looks to boost his World Cup chances. Roma is viewed as a viable loan destination, and initial contact has now taken place. So the Joshua Zirkzee one is moving forward, and there is a potential move for him away from Manchester United in January. Look, we're talking about him trying to get into a Manchester United side here with so many players in front of him that it's just highly, highly unlikely. And if you're bringing in people like Shea Lacey now, like we've just said, then Joshua Zirkzee featuring for Manchester United, no. I don't see it happening. I don't think it will happen. And I think it is the end for Joshua Zirkzee at Manchester United. And he will get that loan move away in January. And I think it is probably the right move for all parties. I really do. Joe says, hi Adam, you were saying not really looking at championship players. Look at how Eze Watkins, Ivan Toney lose. They have pushed on. They were all champ, and Bellingham only played championship before Dortmund's move. Yeah, but all of them players went to, no disrespect, lesser clubs where the pressure isn't as much. You're coming into Manchester United right now. And look, I'm not saying this as an arrogant Manchester United fan. I'm really not. But if you're going to go from the Championship to Manchester United, then you have to be exceptional. All of them players were brought through and had a spell where they needed to find their feet and hit the ground running. And then they did. And you're right. And they did do, Joe. But it took them time to find that level. United don't have time right now under Rúben Amorim until we are consistently successful. That is something that United should explore in the future, 100%. But we're talking about players right now for the starting 11 for Manchester United. And I think that is the important thing to remember. We need players that are going to hit the ground running now. We cannot really allow ourselves to give players time. And this is why I think I would prefer the academy players coming through as well. It's a good point to make. Like, players from the Championship aren't bad players, and you will find the gems there. Adam Wharton was another player that came through from Blackburn to Crystal Palace. But is United the right environment for that type of player at the moment is the way that I'd answer that question back. And I just don't think it is right now. In the future, yeah, definitely. But not right now, I don't think, anyway. Let's see what we've got in here. Plenty of comments coming in as well. Xerxes was a bizarre buy. He absolutely doesn't have the place or engine for the Premier League. People would agree with that. A lot. Been watching a bit more of Stiller. Gotta get this kid in, says Tomo in Thailand. I mean, look, the video that I did last night, and again, you can go watch that back after this show was finished. Stiller is an option for Manchester United, and the detail that came out on Angelo Stiller yesterday was that Manchester United have been looking at him for a long time, and it's not just a player picked up. This is a player that Christopher Vivell is looking at and is an admirer of. And I'm going to be honest, if it's Vivell looking at him, then you obviously do pay a lot of attention to it. His reputation is there for everybody to see in terms of the players that he has brought through and nurtured and been a big part of their careers. Benjamin Sesko being one of them players, and now obviously fitting in quite quickly at Manchester United. Again, like, if he feels like Angelo Stiller is the right player for Manchester United, I'm listening to that. I'm listening. I still think that Angelo Stiller is going to cost Manchester United somewhere between 50 and 60 million now. And that's a lot for an unproven Premier League player. He is a German international. I love that German mentality. Don't get me wrong. I think that's what Manchester United haven't had much of. Any, like, German players for United are few and far between. And I feel like Manchester United are going down that road where we are recruiting players better from overseas. We are looking at different parts of their game, the profile, the characteristics, the mentality, and everything like that. And look, I'm not moving away from Stiller because I've got 3 great Premier League players there in front of me. I've said this all along. United need 3 midfielders. If we're going to challenge in Europe next season, United need 3 midfielders. Angelo Stiller could be one of them, and there could be 2 more coming in to Man United. So, yeah, again, I think Stiller is one to watch. I think there is movement in that. And I think get excited for the summer transfer window as well with what's happening with Manchester United. Look, all that matters now today is the 1st of November. Happy November, everybody. Man United are away to Nottingham Forest today. Don't forget, everybody, the link in the live chat right now, and I'll drop this in on the comment section. I'll pin this in the top comments as well. Join my Fantasy 5 League today, everybody, for the Forest game. I'll explain the rules quickly again. You pick 5 players from this game today as if you would in a normal fantasy football league. Same points apply and things like this, but it's just for this game. A quick fire leaderboard, 5 players, 1 goalkeeper, 1 defender, 1 midfielder, 1 attacker, and then an extra player from either defence, midfield or attack of your choice. You have to have 2 players at least from each side. So it could be 2 Forest players and 3 United players, or vice versa. You have a cap, obviously, on money you can spend. Each player has its own valuation. The top 3 on my leaderboard will get a replica shirt of your choice, courtesy of OK Jerseys there on the screen. They are our kit suppliers. They are the ones that supply me with all my replica kits as well. Top quality. So get on there now. Use that link. I'll drop it into the comment section if you're catching up later on, and pin it in there as well, everyone. But yeah, be a winner today. There are only 18 teams in this so far, so plenty of room left. 32 places left. We can only max out at 50. And so let's see how close we can get to 50 as possible, everybody. Hit that link. Join me on Big Up on Fantasy 5. Pick your players. See if you can win. And we will directly contact you if you are a winner off that as well. So please, 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 please get involved in it. I would love to give some of these shirts away as well. And let's get some winners going. And let's hope that it is a Man United win this afternoon as well. All right. I'm going to leave you all with it there. Don't forget, Watch Along kicks off at 1:30, everybody. Full build-up to the show. I've got a guest sat right here with me in the studio for the game today. You're going to love it. And I want to get as many people in as possible. Let's have it, everybody. United against Forest later on. Come on, United. Let's have it. 4 in a row, everyone. Get your comments in below. Give this video a like. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you for all the super chats, everybody. I'll see you for the watch.